One of the things I like to look at as a result of turning the chest is seeing where that right shoulder gets lined up more with the right heel.
Okay.
So there's some depth to it. We're turning, but there's depth to it as well. So there's the pivot aspect, but the depth of it. And that's going to start to get that club to come from the inside. It's going to manage the attack angle, the angle of approach, so the club's going to work from the inside. We're going to start to hit up on it. That's going to get the ball speed up, high launch, low spin. So really at the end of the day, that's why we're trying to have a good turn, is to positively affect the downswing.
Yeah, I love that. Hey guys, Eric here out at the Don Law Golf Academy at beautiful Osprey Point Golf Club in Boca Raton, Florida. In today's video, joining me is going to be John Bierkin. Some of you guys know John. If you don't know John, he's an awesome golf coach, awesome player. He teaches out of Aronimink, just outside of Philadelphia during the summers. He's down here at Old Marsh in Palm Beach, Florida during the winter times. He's a multiple Philadelphia Section PGA Teacher of the Year award winner. He's a Golf Digest Best Coach in the state of Pennsylvania. He's a Golf Digest Best Young Coach. He's won all kinds of awards. He's also a heck of a player. He's qualified 6 times for the PGA Club Pro National Championship. So I know you guys are going to love these videos. Also, quickly before we dive in, if you haven't already, check out cogornogolf.com. That's where you and I can work together wherever you are in the world. Send us in your swing videos. We build you a customized practice plan, help identify priorities, give you drills to work on, monitor you through the process. You get access to all the master classes, all the practice plans, and our awesome community of golfers. Would love to see you and work with you at cogornogolf.com. We'll put that down below. Let's get the video started. All right, guys, so we're back out here with John, and in today's video, we're going to talk about chest and shoulder turn, really specifically during the backswing. You guys see we've got drivers in our hands. We're going to talk about hitting the driver better, hitting the driver farther and straighter, and really why having sufficient backswing movements we're going to talk about are so important to set ourselves up for success during the downswing. So, John, let's talk driver and backswing. Really, one of the core fundamental pieces that you would see in better ball strikers, those who hit it the farthest, versus those who maybe struggle with some distance, and how chest and shoulder rotation really plays a role on the way back.
Yeah, for sure. The first thing I would say is, just before we get to that, is monitoring your foot flare or your toe flare. For example, we can do everything to the best of our ability upstairs, but if my trail toe is boxed in, I'm going to lock up that knee, which is going to restrict the turn. So let's at least look down at our feet and make sure there's some foot flare there, because that's going to allow us to turn into the hip and then get the torso turning better.
And just on the foot, like if we're talking, let's say like straight forwards 12 o'clock, maybe it's at like 1 o'clock, something like that.
Exactly right.
Cool.
You know, maybe 10, 15 degrees turned open.
Love it.
Particularly for someone who is challenged turning.
Yeah.
So don't forget to do that.
Got it, okay.
Right?
Step 1, flare the foot out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then from there, as we go back, to me, I think if, you know, the trail hip has to turn, but oftentimes what I see happen is if the core in the rib cage and the chest is rotating, that almost pulls that trail hip back, so the pressure goes into that trail heel.
Got it.
And that's why I say that the chest is the master mover. If I turn the chest and all this connective tissue in your rib cage, everything is going to go, the lower body turns.
Yeah, love it. And so as someone might be working through that and kind of feeling the chest, I love the chest is the master mover, that's a great line.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling, you know, the chest turning, the shirt buttons away, etc. I think from like a drill perspective, we have a little, you know, how far should I turn? What are the feels from there? Right. And I know you use a drill with a lot of the players.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll put a stick just inside the trail heel. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll take, in this case, my driver, and I'll put it over my shoulders, and I'll make sure the grip end is on the trail side.
Okay, got it.
And I hold it snug against the shoulder sockets, somewhere in line with the sternum, maybe just north of the sternum. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn and try to match up the stick on my shoulders with that stick on the ground. Perfect. And if you watch carefully, my lower body is turned, but I'm focused very much on the chest and the core. and the lower body just naturally goes.
Match the club on your shoulders with the club on the ground.
Exactly.
And that might get us to like 90, 100, shoulder turn at the top.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, over the last several years, there's been some different beliefs on how much you should turn. You should, you know, should you brace your lower body and turn the upper body against a braced lower body? And I think what we've now found, I know we've found, is that we're teaching people to turn as much as you can.
Yeah.
We found that that's creating, you know, more force in and out of the ground. The long drive guys, they're pivoting like crazy in the backswing. There's almost that natural little bump or shift off the ball. So it's not brace the lower and just turn the upper. It's
let everything go.
Let everything go, but we're going to use this more as the engine to do that. And from this target line camera, one of the things I like to look at as a result of turning the chest is seeing where that right shoulder gets lined up more with the right heel.
Okay.
So there's some depth to it. We're turning, but there's depth to it as well. So there's the pivot aspect, but the depth of it. And that's going to start to get that club to come from the inside. It's going to manage the attack angle, the angle of approach, so the club's going to work from the inside. We're going to start to hit up on it. That's going to get the ball speed up, high launch, low spin. So really, at the end of the day, that's why we're trying to have a good turn, is to positively affect the downswing.
Yeah, I love that. There's two, I'm going to hop in there and try that, John. There's two things you said in there, too, tagline-wise. You're a man of taglines, which I like. You have little sayings. You know, the chest turn during the backswing really being the master mover. And then if you don't turn, if you don't have a good turn, you don't have a good swing.
Absolutely.
Right? And that goes back to, too, how like things you do now affect things later on. So when I make a backswing and I don't turn enough, there's going to be corresponding movements of hand path, where the club is at, arm lift, etc. That then, of course, will affect what I do on the way down, club path, angle of attack, all that sort of stuff. So as I start to work back, all right, cool. Hey, I'm trying to get I'm going to flare my right foot. All right, let's take my normal setup position. So I'm going to flare my trail foot like 10, 15 degrees, maybe at about 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
I've, you know, of course with this, I'm presetting some other things ideally. I've got sufficient width of feet, you know, ankles at or maybe outside of shoulder width from this. I have some tilt.
Yeah.
I have some of these pieces here as well. So as I go up to the top, I'm feeling the chest really leading the way, getting the club, even if I put this here, at or really past the stick on the ground. And I like the other piece too, there's depth of that right shoulder. So my right shoulder, as I'm doing that, feels like it's getting like back over the heel, you said, as a checkpoint. Beautiful. And now as I do the turning, right, what that's gonna allow me to do as I work back, because there's really multiple things that affects with the hands and the arms, the club, right? For me to get the club deep enough and far enough even away from the ball.
Correct.
Even if we look at, hey, if I measure the butt of the club to the golf ball, and I want to make a backswing where I get the butt of the club the farthest from the ball, that would typically produce the farthest shot. And so for me to get it the farthest, the turn would be part one, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So chest turn back, my right shoulder feels like it's back over the heel. I like that a lot. And then now we're saying, John, from here, when I've got the turn, so maybe I'm doing 2 to 3 rehearsals, overdoing that, hitting one, sort of checking with camera. When I get that to the top, I get the butt of the club farther from the ball, I'm really max out my turn. That allows us to swing more down from inside.
No question.
Shallower angle of approach, right? More speed, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, if someone does this normally, who does not turn enough, right? Who maybe runs out of space with the arms to go, they might even have fold, etc. This for them might need to feel a little out of control. They might need to be like, holy cow, I feel like I'm turning a lot.
Exactly. They might feel like they're turning a lot, or they might even feel like they're moving off the ball a little bit.
Yeah, right, exactly. In order to get the arms and hands high and far enough back, right? So why don't we do a couple? I'll do 1 or 2 rehearsals, hit one, do 1 or 2 rehearsals, and we'll talk through some feels. So right foot flared, shirt button's really behind me, chest is leading the way, and I'm feeling my right shoulder really pulling kind of up and back around me. Right, like that?
Yep, excellent. That's it.
Okay. I also feel like when I do that well, my whole right like side and like rib cage and oblique really pull around, up and around me.
Absolutely.
Up and around me. So let's go out to that clock, John. I passed the iron test we did earlier. Let's see if we can do one of these. So I got the turning feels right about there like that. Right foot flared, big backswing turn. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Yeah, good. So when I turn back compared to normal, right? Let's say I have a stock swing where I don't normally turn as much. So I'm here like this, and maybe I'm more like so. When I do my big turn, some of the things I would expect to see from a ball flight perspective, launching higher, right?
Maybe more to the right.
Yeah, more to the right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drawing a little bit more.
Less of the pull, the fade,
Correct.
the low. Yeah, got it. Let's do one more with that. So I'll do 2 turns. My back's a little stiff here today, John, so I gotta work this out a little bit. Good turn. So I'm even feeling like I'm getting the grip end. I guess if we do it this way, I'm getting the club head really past that line as I'm working back.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, because most people are going to be better off turning more than less.
Yeah, right.
So you can use the end of that stick as a visual reference, like you were saying, getting the club off your left shoulder almost even behind that
Behind
stick.
that.
Yeah.
And for the rare occurrence where someone overturns, maybe like gets the arms too deep, they might feel like, hey, don't get it past the stick.
Exactly.
Just
right.
reverse it, flip it. Okay, let's do one more like that. Bigger turns. That first one looked pretty good.
Yeah, that was really good turn.
Okay. Because that definitely, I mean, it does feel for me when I'm doing that, like I need to keep going for like an extra second. That's what I feel.
Okay.
It's like, hey, I feel like my normal turn, and I go to here, and I don't turn enough sometimes. It's like, it's almost like I don't need to turn more, John. It's like I need to keep turning longer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if I were to time it, it's like 1, 2, 3. I need to feel like as I turn, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I mean? Like that little extra.
That makes perfect sense.
Just keep turning longer. Yeah, keep turning longer. Which I guess would in turn make me turn more, huh? So big backswing turn. That's as good as I can hit. I hope that doesn't go over the range. Okay, we're safe, John.
We're safe.
We're right on the end there.
Good strike, though. Good
So, backswing turning pieces, I would say, John, in the 15 years that I've been coaching, 90+% of golfers that I meet with could use more backswing turn.
No question.
Right? It's one of those like almost automatic yes. Explore this at minimum. You likely will hit the driver farther.
And that's why I say all the time, if you don't have a good turn, you don't have a good golf swing.
We're gonna leave it on that, John. Love it. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. If you liked the video, do us a favor, click that like button down below. It really helps us out. Leave a comment. What did you think about the video? What are some topics you'd want to see in future videos? Click the subscribe button if you haven't. If you do enjoy these style videos, we are going to put a recommended video card here on the screen. Be sure to click that. If you want to head to Cogorno Golf, we'll also put that logo on the screen. Would love to see you there.